In this section on slope-intercept form using intercept and slope, our goal is to be able to graph linear equations in slope-intercept form by plotting the y-intercept and using the slope. First, let's remember what is slope-intercept form of a linear equation. That is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Let's remember what slope means. Slope has another word, rate of change. They mean the same thing. Slope is rise over run. Rise is going up and down. Run is going right and left. Rise is the change in y. This is called delta y, or the change in y, over delta x, or the change in x. That's how we will say it, change in y over change in x. This is our formula that shows the change between two y values over the change between two x values, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's take a look at some examples. Graph each linear equation. Linear makes a line. Graph each line. Number 1, y equals 2/3 x minus 1. So when we see in the form y equals, there's an m in front of the x and there is a b. We begin with b. That's where we begin. Begin with b. So first, I look for the b. Here is the b. b equals -1. That means my y-intercept is 0, -1. I begin by graphing with the b. 0, -1. On the y-axis, there's my y-intercept. Begin with b, and then move with m. Move the slope. Move the slope. That tells you how to move. Begin with b, move the slope. So now I'm looking for my slope. In front of the x, I see the m. That tells me how to move. M is 2/3, so the slope is 2/3. That's +2 over +3. So that means my rise, positive is going up, run to the right. So that means I'm going up 2 and to the right 3. I'm changing in the y direction 2 and then in the x direction 3. So from this point, I'm going up 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. And that's where I land. Now I can do it again. Up 2 and right 3. Now it looks like I'm going to run out of a little bit of room. I can estimate on here, but what I'd really like to see is to complete it going the other way. So what did I have to do to get to this point if I started over here? Up 2 and right 3. So up 2 and right 3 would mean start over here. I could move backwards. Instead of up and right, completely backwards would be down 2 and left 3. I can check by seeing, am I going up 2 and right 3 to get to here? Once I have my points plotted, I can get my straight edge and graph my line. Remember to use arrows to show it's a line. It continues forever. Maybe you pause the video and try the next one on your own. Let's see if you were correct. F of x, remember that's the same thing as y. F of x means y. So this says y equals -2/3 x minus 1. We begin with b. Here is b. b is -1. That means my y-intercept is 0, -1. I begin with b. So I begin by plotting the y-intercept. Then I move with m. M is in front of the x. Notice this m is negative 2/3, so my slope is negative 2/3. That's going to mean that I go down 2, because the slope is negative, before I go to the right 3. Move in the y direction 2, down, and then in the x direction 3 to the right. So from here I move down 2 and to the right 3. Down 2 and to the right 3. Now I ran out of room, so I can think backwards. And then I'll check by using the slope. Down 2 and to the right 3. Now I'll take my straight edge and connect the points. Draw arrows to show it keeps going. Notice this is a decreasing line because the slope is negative. This one was an increasing function because the slope is positive. Let's try some more. G of x equals 1 minus 2x. This is another way to say y. Now notice the x was not written first, so let's turn this around. Y equals negative 2x. Remember, the sign has to go with that number and letter. Positive 1. So plus 1. What do we start with? Begin with b. Here is our b. B is positive 1. So my y-intercept, 0, 1. Begin with b on the y-axis, 0, 1. Begin with b, move with m. Here is the m. M is negative 2. Our slope is negative 2. Now remember, if I don't have a fraction, that invisible denominator for this whole number is 1. So that means I'm going down 2 before I go to the right 1. Down in the y direction, negative 2 in the y direction, over 1 in the x direction. Negative 2 in the y direction, over 1 in the x direction. Down 2, right 1. Now I've run out of room this way, so I can always go the opposite way. Switch it up. Up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. Let's check using the slope. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. That works. Now I can take my straight edge and connect my points and draw my arrows. I have another decreasing line going down because the slope is negative. Next, h of x equals x plus 2. H of x, another way to say y. Where do we start? Begin with b. Positive 2 is b. Begin with b. b equals 2, so the y-intercept is 0, 2. Here's the y-axis. 0, 2 is right here. Move with m. Move with m. I don't see an m, but when it's just x, how many x's are there? 1. This is 1x. The m is 1. M is 1, so the slope is 1. And when I have a whole number, the denominator is 1. So I'm moving up 1 and then right 1. In the y direction 1 and then in the x direction 1. Put a point. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. I could do the opposite. To get a straight line, I have to go this way. So down 1, left 1. Down 1, left 1. And I like to fill up the graph until I can't fit anymore. I can check the slope. Up 1, right 1. Up 1, right 1. Up 1, right 1. So far this is working. Now we grab our straight edge and connect our points, keep going, and draw arrows. 2 more. D of x equals 1/2 x. This is again like saying y. Where do I start? Begin with b. but I don't see B. There's nothing here. What am I adding when I don't see anything? That's right, 0. So B is 0. B is 0. My y-intercept is 0, 0. When I have to add something that's not there, I'm adding 0. So I begin at 0, 0. Begin with B, move with M. Here is the M. M is 1/2. The slope is 1/2. I will be going up 1 and to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. I've run out of room, so we can go backwards. Down 1, left 2. Notice that when I go backwards and I grab my straight edge, the points that I make on the other side should line up exactly. That's a way to tell also that I've done my slope correctly. Notice a positive slope and my line is increasing. Last one, c of x equals -3. C of x is another way to say y. Y equals -3. Now remember, y equals mx plus b is the form that we're using. Begin with b and move with m. Begin with b. B is the one that does not have an x. Here is the one that does not have an x. This is b. B equals -3. So 0, -3 is my y-intercept. Go down, begin at 0, -3. Move with m. M is multiplied to x, but I don't have any x here. There are 0 x's here, so the m is 0. The slope is 0. Remember what a slope of 0 looks like? That's right. It's a horizontal line. Y equals 3 is a horizontal line. So up 0 and just over. I'm not going to go up. I'm just going to go over and over and over. I'm going up 0 and over 1. Up 0 and over 1. And we just keep going over so that eventually I just have my horizontal line. See? Constant. Slope is 0. Take a couple of minutes to describe how to graph a line in slope-intercept form using the slope and the intercept. See you in class.